National News Desk is America's News Now. Developing this morning, growing concerns about Ukraine's leadership and whether they want to strike a deal with the latest peace proposal on the table. President Trump said he was disappointed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy had not even read it after Ukraine's top negotiator said his talks with Trump envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were constructive over the weekend. And thanks for joining us. I'm Jan Jeffcoat. It is Monday, December 8th, and that peace deal has concessions on both sides, but it might not be enough still for Ukraine. Yesterday, Donald Trump Jr. slammed President Zelenskyy and said he needed to be realistic because the U.S. was not going to continue funding the war for Ukraine.
So we want peace, we want to stop the death, but I even saw that yesterday where, on this very stage, what was the idea for Europe, who is on the border of Ukraine, who has much more at stake if this happens? Well, our plan is to win economically when pressed on the issue. How are you going to do that? Well, we're just going to wait for Russia to go bankrupt. That's not a plan. That's not an idea. So my father has a common sense approach to everything. That's because rather than being a lifelong bureaucrat who's never actually done anything in the real world, he has, and he understands what that means, and we have to act accordingly.
Mark Boyle joining us from the live desk with the latest on this. And Mark, there has been several proposals released over the past couple of weeks. So where do things stand right now this morning?
Well, both sides are not on the same page, that's for sure. President Trump has grown frustrated, Jan, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who said in the past 24 hours he is not ready to sign the U.S. brokered peace deal with Russia. Speaking with reporters, the president blasted the Ukrainian leader after 3 days of U.S. and Ukrainian talks ended over the weekend with no deal.
I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelenskyy hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it.
The president's son, Donald Trump Jr., is firing back at Ukraine this morning, arguing the country has been tainted with corruption, and officials within the government are actually fueling the war between Kyiv and Moscow. He also says the Trump administration could walk away from striking a deal soon.
I think he may. What's good about my father and what's unique about my father is you don't know what he's going to do. The fact that he's not predictable, he's not following the playbook.
Now, according to U.S. negotiators, they're very close to a deal with Ukraine, but still, to resolve some issues, more conversations are needed. It is a different story with Russia, with the Kremlin coming out saying there has to be radical changes to some of the U.S. proposals. Now, today, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is hosting Ukraine and some top European allies. They're trying to get this proposal to go forward. We'll track the very latest as the conversations continue.